So what is the missing episode? Well, our regular viewers may have noticed that there was kind of a big gap in our travels last summer between finishing the bike ride, Le Petit Train du Nord, with our friends Judy and Gord, and then arriving at Humble Road in New Jersey. And this is that 2-week period. And the reason that I didn't cover it before was that it also coincides with me learning that my brother had not made it out of open heart surgery, and I just wasn't ready to kind of revisit those memories. But I'm ready now, and so I want to share it. We didn't complete everything we wanted to complete, but we did get to Quebec City, which had been on my bucket list for quite some time. And then we scooted down to Vermont, where we spent 2 weeks with my girlfriend helping out on her farm. And it gave me an opportunity to lick my wounds before we then headed down to New Jersey. So here's that story.
I am so wet. My feet are completely drenched.
It all ran into
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh.
It was a great trip.
Quebec 337 North. Signs for Quebec 158 Est, Quebec 335 North.
St. Lawrence River. Quebec City is one of the most charming and historically rich cities in North America. It is the only walled city north of Mexico and feels like stepping into Europe with 17th and 18th century architecture. There you go. Excellent. We are at the Quebec City KOA. Ferry is on strike. The shuttle didn't have space, so we are taking an Uber to the old town, and it is $29 US, what we've been quoted. And there's some kind of a festival going on right now, so maybe that's also why it's crowded. Quebec was inhabited by First Nations and Inuit peoples until Champlain founded New France in 1608. The city was controlled by France until 1763, following the Treaty of Paris, which ended the 7 Years' War, and British colonial rule began. In 1774, the Quebec Act restored French civil law and Catholic rights. In 1867, Quebec became a province of Canada under the British North American Act. I think I better end there because I don't want to get into hot water with my Canadian friends, but I encourage you to become acquainted with Canada's history. These pink sculptures are called Monsieur Rose, or Mr. Pink, and are the work of Philippe Catherine, a singer, actor, and visual artist. They form a series of 15 monumental works that were on display until September 29. We're hopping on Quebec's iconic funicular. It's been in operation since 1879. In just 60 seconds, you're transported from Lower Town to the Upper Boardwalk, and the view from the Dufferin Terrace is spectacular.
We'll see it when we come back down.
Our first stop is beneath the Dufferin Terrace, literally. Welcome to the remains of Chateau St. Louis, once the grand residence of French and British governors. This archaeological crypt gives you a front row seat to 400 years of colonial history.
Where you are using the power that was given to you by the king. Here, as you can see, you can come
From wine cellars to old heating systems, you can still see the bones of what was once a symbol of New France.
the most important servant who was able to read and
The Festival d'été de Quebec is the second biggest musical festival in Canada. The 11-day event has been held since 1968. We were treated to mic checks as we explored the area.
Check, yeah. There we go, but definitely like something,
It's a different kind of push-up. Everybody, we are starting a circus show right over here. One foot on the base. You're gonna have at all times 2 hands on the pole like this. Here we go.
Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you ready? I already know we have the biggest school.
Two of the cannons, John, were trophies brought back from Russia by the British in 1855. Have the emblem of the Tsar. We should look for those. Next, we head up to the Citadelle de Quebec, an active military base and a National Historic Site. It's the largest British fortress built in North America. Come for the military history, stay for the unbeatable views, and if you time it right, you might even catch the changing of the guard ceremony.
And talk about the building here, of course. We went inside for 4 minutes, but then now we are here. Every time, right around in our ranks.
Walking down the hill from the Citadel, we came across 2 plaques that sparked my curiosity into the largely forgotten invasion of Quebec by American troops in 1775. The first one commemorated 13 soldiers killed in the attack, and their remains rest under the adjacent stone. The second one commemorates the resting spot of General Montgomery along with his 2 aides, McPherson and Cheeseman. In the early days of the American Revolutionary War, the Continental Congress was feeling ambitious and wanted to bring Canada into the rebellion, so they sent troops north, hoping to convince French Canadians to join the cause. Enter General Richard Montgomery, a former British officer turned rebel. He leads an army up the Richelieu River, captures Montreal in November, and sets his sights on the prize, Quebec City. Montgomery joins forces with the legendary Benedict Arnold, who just marched his men through the wilderness of Maine. Their plan, a 2-pronged surprise attack during a snowstorm on New Year's Eve. But things go wrong fast. Montgomery leads a charge down a narrow path, but it's a death trap. He's hit by grape shot almost immediately and dies on the spot. Chaos erupts. Arnold's group fights fiercely in the lower city, but without Montgomery, they're outnumbered and leaderless. Arnold gets wounded and his men are surrounded and captured. Montgomery's death was a major blow to the American cause. The attack on Quebec failed and Canada would remain firmly in British hands. In 1818, Montgomery's remains were exhumed and removed to St. Paul's Chapel in New York, where Congress had approved the first monument commissioned by the United States. Benjamin Franklin oversaw its construction in France.
All right, so tell us all about it.
This is cheesecake with dark chocolate mint on top. We're sharing though. So John gets the calories, I just get the taste. Tucked away near the Petit Champlain district, Umbrella Alley is one of the city's most Instagrammable spots. It's whimsical, bright, and totally unexpected. This little lane is proof that every corner of Quebec City has its own story to tell, even the ones floating above your head. And of course, no trip here is complete without gazing up at the crown jewel of Quebec City, the Chateau Frontenac. Often called the most photographed hotel in the world, it's as magical in person as it looks in pictures. "7:45, we're gonna leave this KOA, which had very noisy kids last night. It was a Friday night, and they just were out partying, just like we used to do when we were their age." There's a backup at the border. Welcome to Vermont. Wow, yeah, they've had some significant moisture here. Detour, because the road is closed ahead. Flooding. Oh, they had some flooding there. They had some flooding there. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Flooding there. Yeah, you can see all the debris everywhere. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Wow.
This was packed full of bananas, skins, and vegetable peels and parts of fruit. And
How long did it take?
it's about an 8-hour cycle in the Vitamix food composter, or as I call it, the food crematorium.
Stuffs it in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Composter's full.
There. Now flow.
Rusty red on her shoulder, I was cleaning her shoe when it clicked on the trot over in the bright morning dew. We brushed and we braided dandelions and chewed. It was a mutual arrangement we both saw into. Can she walk in the fire? Can she run in the rain? Can she make it up the mountainside? Can she make it down again? I have often wondered if she'll go and jump the fence. Will she keep on moving onward or stay in what could have been?
This little baby barn swallow has a maggot on it. So
Gross.
yeah, let me put it somewhere where I can squish it. There's another one
Oh yeah.
right in here. Yep. This can happen if there's an injury or, yeah, here's another maggot.
Wow.
So this can happen in their nest
Uh-huh.
that, for whatever reason, flies get in and there's somebody with some kind of, here's another one, I think. So this one is not doing great. I'll bring it in and I'll feed it.
What do you feed it?
Oh, here's another maggot. I will give it mealworms, live mealworms, which I happen to keep on tap. See, here's another maggot.
And you said you can feed it cat food?
Cat food, yeah, chopped up cat food. You can give it to. Guy was not gonna make it on its own. Oh, here's another one.
Oh man.
This one may need to be on antibiotics. So I might take a drive over to Addison. See, here's another one. I might take a drive over to Addison and bring it to the wildlife rehabilitator. This first one I found with, oh, here's another maggot. God, poor little thing. What's that, 6 maggots I'm pulling off of it? They're not good for the health in general, right? Let's see what else we can find, little one.
You think it got them in the nest?
Yeah.
Oh.
I keep them on tap in the fridge. That keeps them kind of, yeah, this one's still alive. All right, little man or girl, whichever you are. Come here. Here, have a meal. That'll help.
Yeah.
That cute. So you can squeeze this
I see.
little side of its beak and get it to, yeah, it needed to get those maggots off of it.
That's Finn, and that's Winslet.
Now should I step aside and show what it really is?
Yeah. I told John that at 3 o'clock, my friend is going over to help the vet do a uterine flush on a horse. John said he'd pass. Well, a sedation, that doesn't, they're not going to lie down because of it, right?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No, I think we'd get the heck out of here if she was going down. It'd be like, timber. She's clean. When she poops, it won't reinfect because, you know, this plate here. Get a little uncomfortable once it gets
Okay, about a half a.
yeah.
What you got there, girl?
Maple coffee twist. It's the best.
It's a creamy though, right?
Yeah, creamy at Cookie Love.
And where in Vermont?
I don't know. I don't know. You have to look it up. There's a big storm coming. I'm going to see if I can get a time lapse of it. You think it's going to rain anymore? We're looking for monarch butterfly eggs. Here's a nice milkweed patch. She says it takes 5 days for it to go from an egg to the caterpillar stage.
Sometimes the eggs are on the other side. So
Yeah, I see it.
that's a monarch egg.
First monarch.
Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Here's more eggs. Here's 2 eggs on the bottom of this leaf.
Oh, yeah.
So that way it can just stay on the very plant that it's on.
How many down at once? One at a time? Milkweed beetle.
There a bunch of bees on it?
Yep.
This is Sarah's.
That's called clover slobber.
Oh.
Comes out. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Think so? I don't think so. Who'd have thought a bunch of 70-year-old women bailing me? One old fart guy. One down and one to go. Wagon number 3. Almost done.
This is like the last bale of the day.
All myself. I'm not going to take this off. Close this up. What's her name said? Oh boy. We're ditch diggers today. Going to create a little bit of a
Road.
Yeah.
Road workers.
Yeah, road workers. What are you doing, Huey?
Here.
Shaking the bush.
You know what?
Shaking the bush from Cool Hand Luke. Remember that movie?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm not
He
a.
told me a couple years back. He said, "Don't ever put that stuff down again." So I haven't put any down.
Well. Stacked like this, because when they're tumbled, they get wet. Yeah. They get wedged in. Heading for the airport.